exciting day here on the People Show. We get to welcome our good friends over at Missin Curfew. You've heard Shane O'Brien for a long time here on our airwaves. Also welcoming in Scotty Upshall. 9 years in the show for Obi, 15 for Scotty. Welcome to the show, guys.
Wow.
Thank you, my friend.
Years.
Thank you. What an intro.
Wow, what an intro. I thought I played 10. Check those notes. It felt like 10 years. I don't know. I'm taking those 10 games as another year, maybe. I don't know.
06 to 2015? That's quick math there. That's feels like 9.
Never my strong point.
From the Missin Curfew podcast, going up on YouTube and on the pod. How's it going? You guys clicked, what is it, 2:30 now?
Yeah. No, it's been good. We're in the studio 3-4 days a week, trying to pump out as much as we can for our new partners, DraftKings, on their DraftKings network, and where you listen to podcasts regularly. But it's a treat getting in here, and talking hockey with my boy Obes. It's been a pleasure. I think we're going on 4 years now. The laughs never seem to be silent in here, and the Fella Tour has taken us to many great spots. And next up, I think, is Vancouver.
Yeah, we will be to Vancouver in the new year for sure.
Yeah.
Updog's favorite thing about Missin Curfew is the Fella Tour. I'm still shocked of that. Uppy played 15 years in the show. That's a nice number there, Updog. But no, Missin Curfew's been great. We try to have a locker room feel here. That's one of the things we both miss a lot about it. So we try to get in here and treat it like a locker room, try to keep the swear words down, but we're having a lot of fun with it.
3-4 shows a week. What is that? Back-to-backs tougher in the show? Or doing 2 hours of content every day?
I'll tell you what, the hardest part is watching these games some nights. Like watching that Panthers-Sharks game last night was tough to do. But no, obviously we're on DraftKings every Wednesday and Friday from 4 to 5 Eastern. It's been great for me and Uppy. DraftKings has been so good to us since the start, and now to be officially, on their network and under their umbrella and bouncing ideas off them, we really feel like it's a great step for us, and we've been fired up about it.
Yeah.
Fantastic. Well, you guys look great. You guys sounding great. Again, the Missin Curfew podcast. Obi, we've been talking to you for years, and you made a lot of headway in this market back in April when you had some strong things to say on the pod about Horvat and he's saying what he said about the Islanders crowd in relation to Vancouver crowd. It's been a long time since April. Do you still feel that way?
Listen, I don't know Bo. He obviously played for my boy Travis Green, and they had that little success in the bubble run. But yeah, I do feel that way. Listen, he went to Long Island and he got a nice 8-year ticket. He's a good player; it's well deserved. But when you wear that C, listen, I was lucky to play for. Luongo was our captain, and then Henrik Sedin was my captain, and without those guys, we don't have great teams. But when you wear that C in a city like Vancouver and you don't have the success that the fans expect, and then you leave town and you want to take a little shot at them, I didn't like it. So if the boys up in Van, I hope they boo them tonight. I get the beers in you, and let Bo have it. Because if I was there, I'd be booing them.
We should have had this on the calendar. Maybe we should have went up for this. This would have been a good Roxy night for
great Roxy night
before and after the game. Listen, growing up, played in Kamloops, played in the WHL there, was always a Vancouver fan since the Pavel Bure days, Kirk McLean days, Trevor Linden. High expectations in that city, right? And as Obi says, wearing the C, it's a big role. And leaving the team without crazy success after the run that, you had, Obes, when through the playoffs. If the Blackhawks weren't doing what they were doing, who knows if the Vancouver Canucks, maybe they hoist one, or Boston. But anyway, in saying that, it's a lot of pressure. There'll be a lot of pressure on him to come in tonight, and whether it's booze or it's Bo, you're not going to be able to figure that out.
That's true.
I think it's exciting. It'll be exciting for him and all the people he knew in the city tonight. But the Vancouver Canucks, if he thinks he's going to come in and have an easy game tonight, he's got one thing coming for him.
Well, Scotty, you played in Philly, right? Like that's a boisterous city and a boisterous crowd, and it feels like we get to this stage now where it's like we've changed fanatics or fans to like fanalists, and everyone's like, well, what's the right thing to do? He did 9 years and he did this and 620 games. Like, as an athlete, what were you comfortable absorbing from the fans?
I enjoyed feeding off the fans, and the way I played the game and the way Obi played the game, basically face first, stick up for your teammates, play hard, try to play hard every night. In Philly, they like that. So, whether you're a sports analyst or you're a beat writer or you're a fan, everyone has their opinion and their voice now more than ever, right? With X and with, Instagram and all this stuff, everyone seems to have a channel to speak their voice. Now, as a true fan, I think what you want is just these players to go out. They're making a lot of money. You expect them to play hard for you. You expect them to wear your jersey with pride, come out every night, be a good teammate, smile, right? You're making lots of money. These kids are looking up to you. Smile, have fun, work hard. And at the end of the day, whether you leave that city on a good note or on a bad note, they'll always appreciate the way you used to play. And that's what I lived on. I'd probably say the same for what you think.
Yeah, listen, when I got traded to Vancouver, I played my first year in Anaheim, and then I had, a year and a half in Tampa, and great fans, but different. I remember my first game at GM Place, I turned one over in the middle of the ice, which probably isn't shocking to either one of you guys. And the whole building was like, oh, and I was like, oh my God, I'm not going to fool anyone around here. So right from day one there, I realized that these fans are very knowledgeable about the game. They're passionate. And it motivated me. It kept me more honest. And when you play bad, you hear it. And when you play well, which we were lucky enough to win a lot of games, it's a lot of fun in that city, I tell you.
We've heard so many different opinions, and everyone's got their thoughts on what's going to happen tonight. And, just hearing Scotty talk about wearing the logo with pride, we talked to Yannick Hansen yesterday, and, he had some strong things to say about what was said back then and getting ready for tonight. He wore the jersey, the Canucks logo. Obi, you wore the logo. Is it, personal for you when you hear statements like that?
The Great Dane, the Great Dane, Hanny. He's outspoken now. Hanny's getting crusty in his old age. He was always a fun-loving guy. Next time I bump into him, I got to tell him to relax.
Yeah, he talks to us twice a week. That's why he's getting all crusty.
Yeah, no. Listen, Hanny was there. Hanny, he went to the Stanley Cup final and lost in Game 7. I wasn't there then, but I was there the 2 years the Updog talked about. Yeah, we had a lot of pride in that dressing room, and we were good, and the fans were good, and you came into Vancouver, we could play it any way you wanted to play it. So, yeah, he takes it personal, and that's what I had a problem with what Bo said when he left town. It didn't work out for him. When you're the captain of the hockey club, like I said, it's on your shoulders. But I just want to say this, how great it is. Shout out to our boy Rick Tocchet. Me and Uppy love talks. He's come in there and built the culture. Uppy had a great point about Sergei Gonchar, what he's done with Quinn Hughes. It's just great to see Rogers Arena rocking again, the fans into it. I know it's early. I don't want to jinx it, but man, it's proud to be an ex-Canuck right now.
You guys are obviously big on the Tocchet hire, and the thing that's obvious is the players look like they're bought in. And we can see it from the outside of okay, this guy's blocking shots late in the game, or they're talking like the coach. As the player, what does buy-in look like when it happened for you guys? If there was coaches that connected with you, that first moment you're like, okay, I'm going to do it for this guy.
I think Obi just kind of said it best with, not getting away with anything, not being able to hide, right? There's no one you can trick more than if a fan is your teammates. You can't, you got to play with, you got to play with pride. And when a guy like Tox comes in, he's been there, he's done it, right? And you look at the guy, he's not, yes, he smiles. Yes, he has a good time, but you don't want to be playing half-ass for him, right? You want to be out there every night and playing hard because he knows he's been in these games. He's been in these battles. And then, I think his message to these guys when he came in last year and took over for Bruce was, guys, we got all the talent in the world. We got all the talent in the world. We're gonna change this thing in the right way. We're gonna get Pettersson back to the way he played his rookie year. We're gonna Quentin Hughes. You're gonna end up wearing the C. You're gonna be a leader. We're gonna get you. Your ceiling is up here. We haven't even seen it yet. And then Thatcher Demko is playing with pride and playing with some confidence now, and that's just really uplifted the whole team, the whole building, the whole city. But for a guy like Tox, it's fun to play for him. I bet you come into that dressing room after a big win, and this guy he's patting you on the back. He's shaking everyone's hand. The next day at practice, he's demanding you work hard. He's demanding you show up again. And that's when hockey's fun. It's, the battles are there and you're battling amongst your teammates. That's when hockey's at its best.
Yeah, I think if you ask Bruce Boudreau, he's like, I wish Thatcher Demko could have played like this when I was in college, right? Exactly. He's probably like, oh man, Thatcher, where were you all this time? But for me, when it comes to talks, is open door policy. You heard him talk about, Pettersson coming in the other day, and you didn't have to go get him and say I didn't play well. Alain Vigneault was a great coach for us in Vancouver. Obviously, me and him, had our little troubles at times. But the one thing about AV, the best conversation I ever had with him was at the end of my second year, and I remember being like, AV, why didn't we have this conversation a year and a half ago? This is the best conversation we had. So I guess what I'm saying is Rick Tocchet has an open door policy. The boys feel like they can come in and talk to him. And to me, that's a huge asset as a coach.
Biggest change maybe for JT, right? A year ago, he was on Hockey Night Canada. It's I don't know if this guy's skating. And now it's suddenly one of the more unique players down the middle. He's ferocious and setting guys up and having this great season. You guys have always been big on him. Did you see this version ever coming out for JT?
I did. I took it on the chin from Canucks fans on X and social media, and I was always loving JT Miller. And they're like, get rid of him. And then Bo Horvat left, and they're like, this is a terrible contract for JT Miller. I never thought it was that, but now the way he's playing, obviously nobody can say that. When you play with emotion like that, and Uppy played like that, and I play with emotion, you can't teach that. Guys feed off it. Quinn Hughes is taking the next step. I love JT Miller. I've always loved his game. And I think Rick Tocchet's the perfect coach for him.
Plus, he brings these guys into the fight, right? He brings the teammates that might be perimeter guys and might not know like just how hard the game is when you start to win, and when and the sacrifice you make and the pain. Like at the end of the day, it's what actually like gets you to the next level. It gets you over that hump as a team. And JT Miller, that game, highlight the game against the Oilers when he's, he plays rough against McDavid and he gets their whole team kind of off their game, right? And then the Vancouver Canucks can feed off that and be like, wow, we have a guy up the middle that's playing, not only is he scoring goals and playing hard PK minutes, but he's engaging in the fight every night. And that's what you need out of a leader. And when you got the size that JT Miller has, you got to play like that every night.
Is there a guy he reminds you of? Because the other day we were talking, I can't remember who we're talking to now, but he said Mike Richards, and obviously Scotty, you would have played with him.
Yeah.
Is there other guys you look at and say, like, from where we were 25 years ago, there may have been a lot of guys that played like that, but now it feels like speed and skill is the way, and JTs are kind of unique.
Yeah, no, he's definitely got the size, right? Like you look at pictures of him or videos of him like working out in the gym, like he's built. He's got a strong body. He's built. I've seen pictures of him on the plane when they're playing cards, and I'm like, man, this guy's got some biceps. I wouldn't want to mess.
He doesn't miss arm day, does he?
He does not miss an arm day. You look back at some big power forwards like him. Richie is he's a great comparison. Who else would be a comparison?
I mean, I think if you ask JT Miller, he would take that feather in his cap for sure. I mean, the way he's playing right now, Mike Richards would be a great. I'm trying to think myself, but I mean, Mike Richards would be a great comparison right now. The way he's leading too, Richie played with that edge and emotion, so that to me is a great comparison.
Talking to the squad from Missin Curfew, go check out their pod, Shane O'Brien, Scott Upshall. So as he kind of takes this leadership role too, and just talking about that buy-in, what roles did you guys feel like you guys took on? Because people gravitate towards you. Obviously, the podcast is having success, and people like your personalities. Like, what role did you guys have in trying to spread the coach's message in the room, or just get guys together?
Rookie parties. Rookie parties were usually the boys. Music, hey, Holmes, when's the rookie party? I'm like, don't worry, boys. She's in LA. Everything's dialed. Let's just get the 2 points here. Don't worry, everything's taken care of. For myself, I think I was a vocal leader. I think some days guys were probably like, "Oh, would you just shut up? We've heard enough of you." But that's how I got myself motivated. I tried to enjoy every day at the rink, and then bringing that physicality and always having my my teammates back, so to speak. But just energy, trying to bring some jokes to the room. But when it came game time, I hope they knew that I had their back up.
Yeah, totally. Like it's a long year, right? 82 games, and I think Obi and I both fell into the position amongst our group and our coaches was that you got to be the guy, like, keeping everyone's spirits high. Like we got some guys that are making a lot of money and that they don't get their cookies some nights. Like they're kind of moping around the next day and whatever. Like you guys are playing in the NHL here. Let's show up to the rink and enjoy this profession. Right. Like, and that's the only way you get out of slumps, but
there's a couple other ways.
But listen, no, we, I took pride down the stretch of my career. I changed my career from, a first round pick playing power plays in Philly to, going to Florida and then St. Louis as more of an energy guy, a penalty killer. And then when you're in that position, you want to be able to, show your teammates that every night you're going to get the same out of me. Whether we're having an off night offensively, you're never going to, put us out there and we're not going to have energy, or we're not going to have other teams score goals on us. So that's as far as, playmaking on the ice, your role, you got to be able to do your role and do it well. And that's how you show your teammates that you're chipping in.
Moving outside of Vancouver, what are you guys liking so far? Because it feels like right now in the Pacific, we're already starting to look at like, okay, Vancouver, LA might be the first round down the road in April. But what else are you guys noticing so far, either in the West or the East?
It's hard to move out of Vancouver with that backdrop you got there. I'm telling you, I'm a little jealous. I got to get back up there when the rain stops raining. Yeah, it looks nice there. I miss that city. For me, I'm going to say the Florida Panthers. Good road win last night against, a place where there was no fans in San Jose, but I love where they are after going to the Stanley Cup Finals. We all know what happened. They got spanked in the finals by a Vegas Golden Knights team that was rolling. But listen, Sam Bennett's back, played his third game last year. My boy Monty Montour's coming back, I believe, against Anaheim. Not sure with Ekblad, but I love where Florida's sitting. Paul Maurice is the man, and I thought they were going to get off to a bad start and sitting at 10-4, I believe now, up dog. I like where they are.
I'll go to the opposite coast. I think the Anaheim Ducks are shocking the world right now. We didn't have them to make the playoffs, although we're in their backyard. Mason McTavish is stepping up and having a stellar year. They're getting the goaltending. Their D are all chipping in. You got, Gudis last night ties Mr. O'Brien's record for the only other Duck with a Gordie Howe hat trick. I found that fascinating.
I found his answer was fascinating. He goes, "Well, that's something. That's something.
It sure
That's something."
That would be the best thing ever to
he was
happen
like,
to him,
wow,
by the
like,
way.
really? Like, your guys are keeping track of that? Like, O'Brien? What? Like, yeah.
I mean, has he ever had a better moment? I don't know.
I can't wait to see it. Like, dude, that was a great answer.
But it's nice to see some new teams, in the talk, right? And there's no question that the Vegas Golden Knights and the start that they've had, that there's no Stanley Cup hangover, that they're right back to where they were, and that they want this cup again. But a lot of good parity. The New Jersey Devils and their young talent. I'm a Jack Hughes fan. It's gonna be good to get him back in the lineup here this week. So it's exciting. The NHL has been an exciting start this season.
Well, we'll keep an eye on Anaheim. I think Canucks play on November 28th, so we'll keep an eye on that. They're the guys from Missin Curfew. Where can they find you?
Yeah, you can find us on all the platforms that you get your podcast on, but check us out on the DKN network. 4 to 5 Eastern, Wednesdays and Fridays, so 1 to 2 Pacific time for all you beauties out in Vancouver. Check it out. Max, our producer, does a great job. DraftKings, it looks sharp. We're keeping the swear to a minimum, but that's where you can find us right now, Updog.
Yeah, just like our Instagram photos, and it always helps.
Yeah.
So not to give you guys any travel advice, but February 29th, the Canucks host LA, the first of 4 in the final 20. So if you were looking to do the road trip, that's like past the winter, February 29th, that's the move.
I like that. We might have to pencil it in for the fella tour.
Yeah, we'll jump in the Sprinter van and fire up the beers, and we'll be right up there in no time.
All right, we'll see you soon. Thanks a lot for joining.
Appreciate it.
Thank you.